Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop. It's Wednesday, it's the 5th of June. There's nothing happening with Liverpool transfers. The manager's there, but no one's heard from him. He could have been abducted. We don't know what's going on. So, we are going to do episode 2 of Poor Strings. Yesterday, Kev had a go at it. He ended up spending 48 million quid net, and he ended up breaking even on the wages, more or less. But one of his sales was 5 million of Calvin Ramsey, which didn't happen. He's gone on loan to Wigan today. So there you go. That's where Kev stood. It wasn't a bad effort. There was mixed reviews. But you're always going to get that in these sort of shows. Tonight it's Chris's turn. Tomorrow's night it's Matt's turn. I've been demoted because Matt said I can't do Friday. I'll do Thursday, and I went right, fair enough. So he's doing tomorrow. I'll probably do Friday. Shawnee is doing Sunday, just to let you know. And then I get Keaton, Emma, and Ashley, and everybody else involved running next week. So, Chris, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I decided should I do a sensible one or should I do a wind up one. I did send you
Well,
my
I think
wind
you
up
should do
one.
sensible
Yeah, I'll do
because I,
sensible.
I, I want I want you to fully give me what you think Liverpool should do, what you should think you should do. Not, oh, I think they might do this. No, I want what you would do. All right.
Yeah, I've done a bit of both. I've tried to keep it in the world of realism.
Right.
Um,
Well, at the end of it, I'm going to give you your net spend, and I'm going to give you your wages, and I'm going to give you everything. So,
yeah,
we'll
we'll
see
see.
how it fares out.
Cool.
All
Right, so
right.
what do you want to do? You want to go through who I'm
I no. I
spinning up?
want. I'm going to start on goalkeepers.
Go on.
Okay. So we have Allison.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Queven Kelleher, we have Adrian, who's been offered a new deal, by the way. That's more news as well. And then we have the likes of Pitaluga, Yaros, and younger goalkeepers and stuff like that.
hmm
So I want to know, in the goalkeeping department, what do you want to do?
Uh, Selling Kelleher, selling Pitaluga.
Okay,
Because,
so Allison stays,
yeah,
Adrian stays.
only because he is in real life, so I'll be
Okay,
realistic with that one.
okay, Kelleher, you're selling.
Yeah,
Okay, at what price?
22 mil. Um,
£22 million. Okay, no problem. And you're selling Pitaluga.
I've put a million. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know.
Okay,
Because
1 million. Okay, you're letting Pitaluga go. All right. So that's fair enough. Fairly straightforward. Are you bringing a goalkeeper in? I presume you are.
yeah, I like the link to James Trafford because I think he's only in terms of goalkeeping, he's only 21, and I think he's had the experience of being a number one.
Okay.
So and because he's played in the Man City academy, he's used the ball at his feet, and I think he'll accept being number two to Allison, but he'll never get game time. And I think that's why they've kept Andrew for another year because I think it's for him to work with whoever the number two is to say, get yourself prepped. This is how you have to, this is all the things you have to do to be a number two. Because most number two work is sitting there for a full game, being concentrated, then not being used, which I think is quite a skill.
Okay. You're selling Kelleher at 22 million. Are you inserting a buyback in there or a sell-on clause?
Yeah, I would. I'd put a buyback clause on where you got like first refusal. I saw your thing about the loan, but I actually think I like the idea of him going somewhere for a couple of years. He's actually got to prove himself to be the number one, and get to the point where people are starting to say, "Oh, do you know Chelsea want to buy him from wherever he is now because he's doing so well?" And then we have first refusal because he's done so well. A
Yeah.
bit like what Chelsea with Courtois when he, oh no, sorry, they loaned him, but do you know what I mean? Go, sell him, let him actually go away, move house, be a number one, be his own person, and basically, if he ends up being good enough where big clubs are after him, we get him back with a deal that we've got agreed.
But,
If he isn't, we're all
but,
right.
but, here's the thing. If you have a buyback of 35 million on Kelleher, right, that's fine. What happens if you have first refusal and Kelleher says, I'm not going?
So be it.
Doesn't have to go.
Doesn't have to.
No.
No, that's what I mean. It's the option you had, and that's happened before. I think I also had it with Fabregas.
Yeah,
And
so on James
it's a
Trafford
risk.
then,
It's a risk you got to take.
I
I
think
was told to be him or Patterson, but I thought Trafford's got more experience at a higher level.
okay, so Trafford, I think we were saying somewhere around the 25 million mark last year.
I didn't think it'd be that much. I thought it'd
You,
be around with 15, 20 million because A, they've been relegated as well.
okay, but don't City have a buyback on him, or they get a percentage of the sale?
I think so, yes.
Right. Okay.
I
So
can't say City aren't going to want to buy him back when they got
right.
the two lads they've got.
Okay. So I think Trafford's cost you 25 million.
Oh, the hell. It's ripping me off here.
Well, the thing is, like, if you're putting Kelleher in at 22 million, right?
I was trying to be reserved with Keller.
Well, I'll
You may
tell
get
you what
more.
we'll do. We'll put 25 on Kelleher like we did last night, and we'll put 25 on Trafford. So you break
Right.
even on goalkeepers.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it makes sense.
Well, you make 1 million on goalkeepers, right?
Yeah.
So you have plus 1 million there. Okay. The only thing is, getting rid of Pitaluga is not going to make a difference to your wage bill.
No.
Kelleher's room would be on 10 grand a week. Trafford's coming in on way more than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So out of 350 grand that you started with, okay, as your buffer of the Matip slash Thiago stuff, 10 grand will go out, so that'll bring you to 360. But I think you're probably looking at 50 grand a week.
Fair enough. I drove 45 of mine, so yeah.
Okay.
50,
So
we'll split the difference. 50.
So that would leave you then with 310k left of your money. Okay. So as of now, you are 1 million up, and you are sitting on a buffer of 310k goalkeeper wise, right? O'Sheen says that's reasonable. It's very likely Kelleher goes with his recent interview on international duty. I think it's I think it is fair to say that he will go. But I'll keep him powder dry until my turn comes around, and I'll talk about these players. So let me go through the defenders. We have Trent, Gomez, Bradley. Okay, we have VVD. We have Kanate. We have Kwanzaa. We have Robertson. And we have Simicas. And I think that's all of them.
A couple of kids, but none.
No, well, they'll be later on, right? So, let me go through these. I'll just go through the names like I did with Kev last night. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Does he sign a new deal?
Yeah.
Right, well, I'm immediately taking 100k off you for that.
I forgot about that. Okay, fair enough.
All right. Gomez.
Keeping him.
You're keeping him. Bradley.
Keeping him.
Okay. VVD.
Keeping him.
Kanate.
Keeping him.
Kwanzaa.
Yep.
Yep. Robertson.
Yep.
Simicas.
Could do, couldn't I? Just for shits and giggles. No. I think he. As much as he's not my favourite person, I also think he needs to play regular football now.
Okay. So Simicas, I think we had down. How much are you looking for Simicas? Because forget what Kev said last night.
I wrote 12. I thought 12. I saw rumours of 15 and that, so I thought 12 was pretty much what we paid for him. So if we get what we paid for him, I think that's reasonable.
So 12 million in.
Yeah, and he's about 50 grand a week, I think I've read.
Okay, he's on 50 grand a week. Okay. That's fine. So now you're keeping on your defenders. Bar Simicas.
Apart from Ramsey, he's gone anyway.
And we get to him later. He was in the list later on. Okay. I'm just going through squad that's actually played. Defender wise, are you bringing any defenders in? One defender.
Yep.
Okay, which would leave you one short of last season. Just so people know that, right? Because if you let Simicas go, Matip's gone, you're missing two, and you're bringing in one.
Yeah, I'm taking the risk. I'm taking the risk of Gomez being the utility man, both sides.
Okay, so who's the player coming in?
David Hancock, Hancko. He actually plays for Feyenoord. He currently plays for Slot.
Oh, Hanko. Okay.
Yeah, that's him. You know, my pronunciation. Centre back. He's 26, happy on either side. My thought was he knows how Slot wants to play, and at 26, he's a bit of a ready to play now.
Okay.
But also, of his age, it's a big move for him. Is if Konate starts the season, or you want to give a chance to Kwanzaa, now you're bringing in a player with a decent injury record who's solid enough and can come in. I can put pressure on both of them. So at least then, if we want to rest VVD, we can do, and you put an experience with him at 26.
Okay.
I did toy with Mark Gahey for the English quota, but he's only 23 and he had horrific injuries this season, which kind of put me
The
off.
season just gone. Yeah, he only came back. I think he makes his return at home to the United in that 4-0 win.
Yeah,
Um,
so
so
that kind of put me
Hanko,
off Mark Gahey.
my only worry on Hanko is, are you signing him to be? Are you signing him just in case Kanate gets injured?
I'm signing up. So you've got three options. You could play right-sided midfield, right-sided centre back, and
Okay.
basically it's horses for courses. We know Kanata can't stay fit, and I agree with Kev. I think it's unfair to say to Kwanzaa, that's it. You're the number two centre back, play every week, because he's only a kid. He's only 2021. So, and
Okay.
Yumi saw the post match reaction to his mistake at Old Trafford.
Yep.
So I think it'll do him good. But again, I feel he'll look at someone who Kanate and Kwanzaa will go, all right, he's experienced, he's a good player, but they'll also fancy the chances of getting ahead of him, like Kwanzaa did with Matip. So
What sort of money is Hanko?
Hanko, I thought I put 45 mil, and I thought wages wise 60. I
45
think
million pounds.
well, according to Transfer Market, he's about 40 million euro, but I know that's always a bit low. So I said we'll change it to pounds and put 45. But when I've looked at all the centre backs that we've sort of been linked with, your
Okay.
Gahey's and people like that, they're all around the 40, 45 million. And
Right.
I'm too late to do enough research to check. So
Right.
I put around 45.
45 million and how much a week?
I think he'll be on around, I think if he comes to Liverpool, he's going to be around 55, 60.
60k. Okay. So that means you're bringing in one defender. You're losing Matip and you're losing Simicas. You're going with Gomez as the utility. Yeah.
Yes. Which is
Um.
what he did. Which is what he did this year, and he'll get plenty of game time with the amount of games we've got coming.
Okay. So that puts you now at 210k as a buffer on your wages. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you were up a million. Then you sold Simicas, which put you up 13. Now you're down 33 million.
Something like that, yeah.
33 million now. Okay. All right. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many people are going to agree with that. I'm going to be honest. I'm interested to see now. If anyone's in the chat and you're watching, please hit the like button. Let us know you're there and react as Chris is giving you this. So as we stand, he's gone with Allison. He's gone with Adrian. He's selling Kelleher with a buyback. He's offsetting that money from Kelleher to buy James Trafford. He's selling Petaluga, which is just giving you that £1,000,000, and that's what he's doing. And Goalkeeper at the back. At the back, you have Trent, 100 grand extra on his deal. Gomez, Bradley, VVD, Kanate, Kwanzaa, Robertson, Simicas out for 12 million and 50 grand off the bill. But Hanko in for 45 million and 60k on the bill. Just one last thing, VVD. New deal?
Yep.
Same money?
Same money. What they'll do is they'll tweak his bonus structure, so he'll get more money if they win.
Okay.
But that's not guaranteed.
Cool. All right. So into midfield. Endo.
Yeah, go on.
Elliot.
I'm not selling a single midfielder.
Okay.
To make it
no
easier for you.
midfielders. Okay.
No midfielders. I'm bringing one in, but I'm not selling any.
Okay.
The only one coming out is Thiago's wages.
Yep. So you're bringing in one midfielder?
One midfielder, yeah. I mean, I am still midfielders, but they're like squad players, and we'll talk about them later.
Yep.
So,
okay.
I've put Edison from Atalanta. Now, admittedly, I've seen him play 4 or 5 times, but when I've looked at that deep lying sort of defensive one, there isn't anyone that excites me.
Yeah.
Unless you and I get the idea of Polini, but my thing with Polini is I don't think he's that mobile, and I think we've already got someone who's not very mobile in Endo. So I think you kind of do like for like. So with him, I feel he's young enough. He's 24, good age. We saw how combative he is, how reactive he is, how flexible he is, because he can also play higher up in midfield if you need him to. And I feel use him and Endo in rotation, but he's one you sort of train up as a little bit of a project into that role. Because I don't see anyone else where you go like, that's your Declan Rice, that's your next Rodri. I don't think there is a next Rodri or Declan Rice around at the moment. So I think he gives you enough then.
Okay.
There is a risk because he's coming from Italy, and we don't have best of luck with players coming from Italy to England, but you got to break that. You got to break that at some point.
Okay, so Atalanta into the Champions League. this year.
Yep.
On foot of the Europa League win. I think they might have made it anyway. In through the Serie A. They're not going to lose. They're not going to want to lose any of these players. Ederson, likes of Schumacher, and a couple more in that team. So Ederson, what do you reckon he's costing you?
I reckon he's around 40-ish. I don't think he's massive because I think they get decent money, but they didn't pay masses for him either. I think I've got 40 in my head.
So you're trying to sign Ederson from Atalanta for 40 million, and what are you giving him a week?
55.
Geez, you don't pay well, do you? 50k, 55k.
Apparently he's rumored to be on 45 at the moment.
He's rumored to be on £45,000 at the moment.
45,000 euro.
Euros, so, which is £40,000.
So if we put him on 15, that's a nice pay rise for him.
I think it's more than that, but anyway, that's what you're going with. Okay, so in midfield, you're keeping them all, right?
All the ones who played last year, yeah.
Yeah, you're keeping them all, and you are adding Ederson from Atalanta in there at 40 million quid, £55,000 sterling, in wages, right? I want to ask you a question on midfield, but before I do, Kev says Napoli want Hanko at 45 million euros apparently. Well, what you want and what you get are two different things. So I would say, I think 45 million pounds is probably fair if that's, there's not an awful lot of pounds and euros. Antonio Conte in Napoli without European football would be a dangerous side against, as Oisin just touching on Conte going to Napoli. I think we have to have a left-footed left back to back up Robbo up and future-proof. Says Kev, that's just in relation to you just bringing in the one. Stephen says, Arthur Mello, we paid 2 million loan fee and a decent amount for Kabak. So I imagine we could get 3 million loan fee for Kelleher easily. Then it's win-win. Give him a new contract with better wages first. That's where I kind of go. Zubamendi is getting a mention in there from Oisin, who says Ederson seems to be the new favourite, or Zubamendi as that deep line mobile 6. And Ashley says, yeah, Zubamendi is intriguing. Johnny is on the beck to back up Robbo Bus. Look, there's going to be loads around this with regards to if you're letting a left back go. This guy meant to be something special, Zubamendi, but say we need to pay at 60 million for any good sixes or shit. Zubamendi says Kevin Ball will be his fourth choice, but I think he ends up at Arsenal. Apparently, they've done a lot of groundwork on him already. Arsenal going in for another? Oh, well, Partey's gone, isn't he?
Partey's gone, and we saw at the end of last season when the chips were down, he preferred to put Rice as a box-to-box midfielder and use Jorginho. And Jorginho is probably not the most mobile. Yeah. Good player, but he's not the most mobile.
Yeah, fair enough. Zubamendi, okay, that name's being floated about as well. And look, to be honest with you, you're hearing all these names and Arsenal doing this or this team might be doing that. The Euros and the Copa America are going to kill a lot of people. Literally wait until mid-July to try sign players. I think you'll see this summer. I think you'll see an awful lot of players signing for clubs and not actually starting the season for them. You'll be nearly waiting until the start of September to see them, unless they're literally rushed in. But if you finish on the 14th of July, you need a holiday, and then you have to come in and do a pre-season. It's very, very tight. It's literally 4 weeks nearly to the day that if you get to the final of the Euros or the final of the Copa, which is the 15th of July, you're literally going to have 4 weeks to literally have a holiday and then come back and try to do a pre-season. But just on midfield, because it's intriguing, and the midfield thing is intriguing me out of all of the things, right? Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, the contract stuff's intriguing me. The forward line, left back, a lot of people have different views on left back. I have my own, but I'm not saying anything. But midfield, they're banging on about this 4-2-3-1 from Arne Slot at Feyenoord, right? And even if you bring in a mobile 6, like if I said to you tomorrow we're signing Zubamendi, right? Or we're signing your man Ederson, right? I get a feeling if he decides to go 4-2-3-1 here, it feels to me like there's a lot of players that might not fit in what he wants to do with the style of player we have. Am I overreacting there? Because I'm saying to myself, if you bring in a 6, right? Mm-hmm. And that person plays and you're playing as a double pivot, right? You probably want one that's really good sitting midfielder, right? Sitting thing, and you've one that's a bit more mobile around them. And then you're kind of saying to yourself, now I've only 4 spots left in the team, right? And I probably have to get McAllister in there. I have to get Salah in. I need to get someone on the left, and I need to get someone up front. Right? You're looking at left, right, a 10 and a striker, right? Realistically, if that's what you're going to do. And I'm looking at I'm saying to myself, Jones, Elliott, Szoboszlai, and
I think
I'm saying, you might be able to throw Jones in a 10. You may be able to do the same with Elliott. You might be able to do the same with Szoboszlai on the right. Left is an issue if Diaz doesn't stay at the club, right? But Gakpo's there, but we get to that in a bit. But
Jones could do the left because that's what he used to do.
Yeah, I understand that, but the gas thing is when you look at Feyenoord, and again, I've only looked at 3 or 4 clips of them. They don't have, for me, really artistic, visionary footballers left and right. They have people that are powerful, quick, direct. They're either going to set up goals or look to score goals. And I don't know, does it fit? Maybe it does. Maybe I'm just kind of stuck in my ways in a 4-3-3. But it feels to me like
we say this. Klopp was very 4-2-3-1 at Dortmund. That was his way. And then when he came to Liverpool, he looked at what he had. He went, "Oh wow, look at the attacking options I have. 4-3-3 works better." So you don't know. Arne Slot could look at this and go, "I'm sticking 4-3-3," or he may say, "I'm still sticking with that formation, but I can tweak that formation with the players I've got because I've got more technically gifted players than I had at Feyenoord, and I've got different ways of playing." There's also that could have been a formation and a style of play he did for what he could buy or what he could, what options are open to you. We'd all like to play, with the players Man City got, but you need to play a certain way and have a certain amount of money. So that's but again, we're all guessing because we don't know what Slot's going to do. He may come in, he could be very like Conte, it's like very rigid 3-4-3. This is how I play, and you all play that formation, and I don't change it. And if that's the case, we could see quite a few players moving, or you may find he tweaks it. Yeah. The best managers tend to tweak it.
Yeah, because like I kind of have in my mind that if you didn't sign a 6, I could actually see. I think you will sign a 6 because I could actually see a new number 6 deep line midfielder playing in there with McAllister, and I could see maybe a Szoboszlai ahead of that, right, in a more central, more advanced role. And then you have, and it's still it is a midfield 3, and then you still have your Salah one side, a Gakpo the other side, a Nunes or a Jota through the middle. I can see that, but then I'm starting to look and I'm saying to myself, I could see Elliott on one side, Jones actually is really good in it too, deep. So maybe when I think a bit more into it, he has plenty of cover in those areas.
I think the other thing we're not sure about.
I get the feeling there's going to be an odd man out here in this midfield, and I think it's going to become very apparent very quick.
Yeah, I think there normally is. But I think I'd rather have a situation where you've got someone you're going, I'm struggling to give them the game, than fucking hell, which biff are we putting in this week? Because we've been through that scenario where we've had loads of midfielders and they're all crap, and we're going, I don't want any of them.
Yeah.
I think the other thing we don't fully know how it's going to look yet is this new Champions League setup, because an extra 2 games, which takes you to mid-January, and it's very conceivable because now you have 2 teams from pot 1. You could end up with a couple of weeks where it could be like City at home, Real Madrid away, Chelsea at home.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to rotate, where you could say to McAllister, you're only starting 2. One you're doing the 6, the other one you're doing 10. Jones, you're starting the last one. You could actually rotate. You only get to the point where you can rotate to a point where there isn't a massive drop-off, or you're not basically, as saw McAllister at the end of the season, ran the legs off him. You're able to rest him. And I think that was the problem with McAllister at the end of the season, is because he was the informed man for so long, we had no one else to put in.
Yeah, look, I'm maybe overthinking a little bit. From when I see a 4-3-3, like, I love Elliott in that 8 on the right-hand side of a 3. I like him there. I like Jones on the left of a 3. I actually... Szoboszlai for me, I feel he has to be central. He's actually probably the player that screams the 4-2-3-1, and him in the 10, looking to be kind of powerful and linking with the front. front men
I think
rather. And then you've Gravenberch as well.
long-term Gravenberch looks better. Will probably look better in one of the two.
Yeah. It's just, now listen, come here. We're just guessing, and we're like, listen, we're two idiots talking about Liverpool. Let's be fair, the sort of way. And it's just like you think then you look at Gravenberch, and I look at Gravenberch, and I think to myself, fuck, he's good in a 10. You know what I mean? So that is good. I just feel like, even though it's 3 positions, that little tweak of 2 and 1 rather than 1 and 2, it just throws you a little bit. And I just don't. I think they're all really good players. I just don't want to see one of them kind of thrown to the side. You know what I mean? And I worry about, out of them all, I worry about Elliot. That's where I worry, because he's not going to play in a 2. But having said that, I think he'd be excellent in a 10. So maybe there's options everywhere. In fairness, you know what I mean? It's more for me in my own head going, if Salah doesn't play right, who plays right? Because I'm maybe Szoboszlai, but then I'm thinking, but then I'm thinking to myself, when I've watched this little bit of Feyenoord, right? Both are wide men, really quick, right? Really quick, want to go at defenders, and their striker's really intelligent what he does. It doesn't feel like it fits, but it may do. It may be just he's just going to steamroll down the right hand side and pop balls into whatever it might be. But that's why I think I can't wait for the kind of pre-season to start, to see who goes where. And you're not even going to see it, because by the 27th of July, they're not going to be there.
I mean, for Elliot, although we've been gutted about it, the best thing that could happen to Elliot is he get picked for England.
Yeah.
So he can get in early doors and get catch the eye where he goes like, oh yeah, I want to keep him. Quantum may be thinking of the same. If Quantum doesn't make the England squad, he might be thinking, yeah, but I can really establish myself, when he might not con the manager, but make the manager go, you may just need a backup centre back. You don't need I'm your main man. So, and we've seen last year, in their flow, they're brilliant. Elliot at times, we were screaming out, when does he start? And you saw this on season.
I love watching him playing football. Yeah, I think when a lot of people said, where does he fit into this team, and I was sick to me. Well, I was sick to me back teeth, because the season before, he's in the team, and Henderson isn't getting back in until that injury at Leeds, right? And he's in that team. Yeah. He's right of the tree. He's so like forward thinking. He's aggressive. He's positive on it. And I think he's really, really playing well. That injury killed him, and when he comes back, it's like, I think what happens is, when he comes back, what had happened to Liverpool was like, this fucking team are all over the place, right? And it's like, he's not the solution here, because he's not big enough, he's not strong enough, he's not quick enough, he's not this. And I was like, no, hold on a minute, he's not the issue here. You can put him in. You need to replace the other fellas that aren't running and aren't fucking quick enough and aren't quick enough on the turn. And as we slowly done that, you're seeing what Elliot can bring. And I don't go along with this. You have to be 6'2", fucking built like a noodle. You have to run up and down really fast, and you have to be all. You don't have to be that to be a midfielder. Like, some of the best midfielders, and going back all the generations right up to now, aren't 6 foot plus. They aren't fucking, lightning fast. Like, I've never heard of someone going, that midfielder's really fast. Look at the pace of that midfielder. Ever. Never heard of it. You hear about pace if you're a fullback, a centre-back, a winger, or a striker. There's no centre midfielder in the world where I go, do you know why he's brilliant? Because he's lightning fast. No, it doesn't happen. So, Elliot, I just want to... I have a little thing in my head, and I really want to push. I really want him to push on, because I think he deserves it. Mm-hmm. So,
good.
Forwards.
Yep.
Okay. Diaz,
Salah.
Gakpo. Hold on, you just relax. I'm just going to list them out. Diaz, Gakpo, Núñez, Salah, Jota. They are 5 at the minute. Mm-hmm. So, Jota, keep.
Yep.
Okay. Salah.
I think he stays regardless. Whether he does an extension's another matter, but I think
for this summer he stays. Okay.
He stays either way. Yeah.
Yep. Núñez.
Yep.
Stays. Gakpo.
Yep.
Yep. Diaz.
Gone.
Okay. So
I think this is the Moneyball optimal time to sell him because as good as he is, I think there is a lot of positives to his game. I just don't think there are enough numbers in his game. Not only goals and assists, but incisive passing and chance creation. I just feel when Liverpool at the best, it's almost like they have three forwards on the pitch, and I think we play with two forwards and a winger. He plays a different way because we don't play him like we played Mane because it's a different team. But I just feel now like we need to go a slightly different direction, and I do think on whether he goes to PSG, Barcelona, he'd do really well because I think it's exactly what they need on the continent. He's that sort of stylistic type of player that they'll love.
Okay.
But you're talking 70 mil, which I think is the rumoured fee, and I don't think it's unreasonable to go 2 years on his deal. And
Okay.
I thought he'd finish well.
So 70 million. And what are we saying he's on a week? 100 and...
See, I read some of that he's only on like 55, 60k.
Nah, he's not on 54.
I read it was like really low. I was like, oh.
No,
okay.
I would say, let me see what I put in for Diaz last night. Because I have it all here.
I'll take your lead on it.
Yeah, well, we just wrote down 70 million. Oh, I think what we said was 100k, I think we said.
Okay.
Because we were writing that off against the Ivan Toney for King last night. So let's say 100k, right? Off the wage bill. Now, who are you bringing in?
I'm going to bring two attackers in.
Oh, two. Okay.
Because I'm still of the very old school Ferguson way of, if in doubt, bring another attacker in. Because you could always sell them on you could always sell them on in a year's time. Okay. Attackers are actually easier to bin off.
Mm-hmm.
And I always like the idea of what you do for the last 5 minutes, just throw another attacker on and see what happens.
Right.
It's very old. It's very old.
Before you give me them, I just want to read some reactions to what we've been talking about. All right. Let me see. Kevin says, I think long term Jones, Gravenberch can do a job in a pivot. Elliott can play across the three, in his opinion. Dylan O'Rourke doesn't like any centre halves. No centre halves at all. He says, I've similar opinion on centre half. Guy, Ignacio, both smaller than Gomez. Thanks, but no thanks. Hincapi, another sub 6 foot centre half. Forget it. They don't work. Let me see. Kevin Ball says, Jones and Szoboszlai in a double pivot against Wolves second half was brilliant. Let me see. Ashley says, I feel like we have a whole bunch who could balance in the 6 next to a defensive destroyer, but we need that player in order to do that. Yeah, I think that's fair. Oshin says, Szoboszlai, a huge season coming up after never really recovering from the injuries he suffered in the second half of last season. We were talking about that a while ago, and Shawnee was saying, look, he's not used to the amount of running he's done over that period of time in Germany. No winter break. And I think, you know what, he'll come into this season stronger for it. He got up to speed. I think he's a fabulous footballer. Let me see. Johnny says, the only final player I think is plausible the lad that Keith likes, which is, I think, is the right back called, I can't remember his name.
Oh, gives it G's, isn't it? Because he can play right back or centre back. I did look at him as an option.
And then you have the guy in midfield, the 6 in midfield. Can't remember his name either. He won't be playing. Let me see. Kevin Ball thinks that I'm going to just call him Kev Ball. Is that all right? Kev Ball says Diaz ends up in Saudi, in his opinion. And that's about
I might get more than 70 then.
No, 70 is your number. So, 2 attackers.
Yep. So, first one is the Brentford attacker.
Embuemo.
Yes. Reason for him is 2 reasons. Is he could play wide right, or he could play through the middle, and he can cover left if you need him to. Mm-hmm. Looking at his numbers, I think he finished on 9 league goals in about 24 games. And he's same age now this year, 24, when we bought Sadio Mane, who did 10 league goals in 32, I think it was. Okay. So it's very similar trajectory to Mane. So you're like, that's kind of what we need. I like the fact he's direct. Mm-hmm. Before this season, very rarely injured. Younger than you think at 24. And I just got... There's something about him, as much as when we play Brentford and you think, oh no, Tony's playing.
I back him nearly every week to score.
I cannot be arsed with him when we're playing against him. I'm generally like when he gets subbed off, I'm so happy because thinking, thank God for that. Because he's relentless, Yeah. And I just think he gives you something that we don't need. There is the AFCON thing because he does play for Cameroon. It does well for Cameroon, but I believe AFCON next year is in the summer, so it doesn't affect us for at least 4 years. and just something about it, just like him, and interesting. I
So
heard somebody
just
after
on
rap
just on
day.
him then, what
Yeah.
price and wages are we looking at here?
So price wise, I've put. Let me get it up here. I put 50 because apparently that's the figure that was in the paper, which was like Brentford wanting a
50
massive.
million quid.
The reports of the paper were Brentford want a massive fee for him of 50 million, and I was like, I was expecting higher,
Right,
but
okay. 50
that's what.
million
So
on
that's what.
Buemo. Wages wise?
I put 55 because apparently he's on 40. Apparently, I'm happy
Okay.
to debate over it, but and also the other thing is I've noticed is, and I get Kev's point about Ivan Toney. I thought Ivan Toney would have been gone by now. I generally thought all the talk was he was going, it'd be done. I kind of thought he signed a pre-contract agreement somewhere,
Hmm.
and it's gone really quiet, which
Yeah.
makes me wonder: was it the clubs he was looking at, the likes of Arsenal, who are now looking elsewhere? Was it United who've gone for Hoyland? I wonder if the options he was looking for, Champions League clubs, are now not there.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he might. I've got a feeling Tony. I agree with Neil Axon. I wonder if they've signed a small extension with Tony. So it gives one more year, and you definitely go because then there'll be more options. Plus, we don't know what you might do in the World Cup,
Yeah.
the Euro. Sorry. So
Yeah.
that's why then it makes getting him a lot easier because then they're not having to lose two strikers.
Okay. Who's the second one?
Is Elise,
Oh.
who could play right midfield or he could play right wing. The only risk of him is his injuries, hence why I want to buy two so that it sort of protects him a little bit.
Okay.
He's 22, he's French international, and he's classed as homegrown because he's
Yeah.
been in the Reading Academy since he was 16, 17. And he was born in London, but he's got French parents, so that does help.
Now, you're
That
not
does
going to
help.
tell me this fella's going to cost you only 35 million or something.
I've put 70 because apparently he's got a buyout clause, but no one knows what it is.
Okay.
But all of the rumours coming out is it's not like extortion, as in like it's
He's
reasonable.
100 grand a week plus.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to put 100 grand, that's fine. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that because I don't actually know what wages he's on. I don't think he's on massive wages at Palace, but I think he'd be on massive
But
wages.
I think, I would say you're probably looking at 120 or 130 grand a week for him. For the simple reason is there's going to be plenty of clubs looking at him.
Yeah, that's a fair shout.
Okay. So, what we have here is you have Elise wipes out Diaz fee wise. So you're spending 50 million there.
Yep.
Okay. And you are then 85k. You're putting the budget up by 85k, right? So that would mean then that you are currently on 83 million net. Yeah, 83 million net. And I'll double check this. And you are 85, 15, 100, 125 grand left you have from your 350 grand buffer.
Okay.
All right. But you spend 83 million there. So just to double check it, on the goalkeepers, your buffer came down by to 310k, but you made $1 million, right?
Yep.
Then you, let me see, you went
Sold
up. You went
for 12.
You went up 100 and you had Trent and Hanko was going to cost you 160, but you took 50 off that, so that was 110. So you had 200 grand left. Would I be right in saying that? Yeah, 200 grand left, but you had 33 million net, right? And now you're left with 200. You've 115. Sorry, you've 115k, and you spent 83 million net. All right. So let me talk to you to finish out about some fringe players. Right? Fringe players. Dans.
Keep.
Clark.
Keep.
McConnell.
Loan.
Okay. Doak.
Keep because of the injury.
Okay. Scanlon.
Loan.
Beck.
Keep until Jan as your backup left back option.
Okay.
For cup games.
Calvin Ramsey's gone on loan.
Yeah, I'd have sold him, but yeah. Loan.
Okay. So out of those group, there's no money there. Couple of loans.
No.
Fine.
Couple of loans, a little bit of wages, but nothing.
Okay,
much.
so then the last four, Morton, Carvalho, Vandenberg, Phillips. So Morton,
Sell.
how much?
Morton, I've put 10 mil because he
Okay.
had such a good season in
Yeah.
Championship.
Okay. 10. Yeah. Carvalho.
Sell for 15.
Okay. Vandenberg.
Sell for 10.
10. Okay.
Well, the rooms we've got 20, which means we'll negotiate it down to half that.
Yeah.
And,
And
and I was
Phillips.
thinking, I've put sell for 2 mil, but I've been selling it. I've been selling for about 3 years.
Yeah. I think
The
5
challenge.
is probably a fair amount on Phillips.
Well, I said 2 because his wages are so high. Because I'm thinking we might have to pay him off.
Okay.
But I don't know how we do that in your wage thing. But do you know what I mean? A bit like we did with Joe Cole, where we pay his wages off and go, look, we paid your wages off, just go.
Yeah.
We'll take 2 million. We'll reduce the fee if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going 2 there. So that would leave you 10, 25, 35. So 37 million incoming off those players, which will leave you 37, leaves you 46. So that gives you a net spend of £46 million, and really only Phillips. So you leave it at the wages as it is, right?
Mm.
So to finish that off, then you have spent 46 million net, and you've reduced the wage bill overall by about 100 grand a week, which is 5 million a year, right? So
it's good, isn't it?
So we get people's reactions now. So let me read it out, because people who are listening afterwards will kind of be jotting this down. And going, you're fucking mad. Anyway, this is what he's ended up with. He's ended up with a squad of Allison, Adrian, and James Trafford. He's ended up with Trent, Gomez, Bradley Van Dijk, Kanate, Kwanzaa, Robertson, and Hanko from Feyenoord at 45 million quid. He has then gone with Endo, all the midfielders that we have. So Endo, Elliot, Jones, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Bojcetic. Am I missing anyone? I don't think I am. And he is adding in Ederson from Atalanta at 40 million quid. And up front, he is going to have Gakpo, Nunez, Salah, Jota, Embuemo, Elise, and Diaz leaves. Okay? And of the fringe/loan players, none of them are forcing their way into the first team squad.
No.
A couple of them are being loaned, a couple of them are being sold off, and you end up then with 40, like I said, 46 million pounds spent. So let me read some reactions. Johnny straight in 7.5 out of 10. He gives you. I think he gave Kev about 6 last night. Johnny was in awful form last night. Oshin says, respectable enough transfers in and out, 8 out of 10 for me. Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
Elise is on 100 grand a week at Palace now. So is Eze, says Ashley. Yeah, I think you're looking at probably, but it doesn't really matter, because Chris has about 115 grand buffer here that he can piss around with to give other people if you need it.
We'll call it 150 if you want.
Yeah. And call it 150, and you could even call him Waymo 70 or 80, and you're still within that budget. So, listen, I'm only writing them numbers down to keep it within realistic. Like it's saying I'm signing De Bruyne and I'm giving him 500 grand a week. Like that doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's quite good. I think there's holes in it, but that's just my opinion. And I'm trying not to give my opinion too much, because I'm going to do this possibly on Friday night.
Yeah, because I was looking at it again, going, oh, you could add that player there, that player, but then you get to 7s and 8s. I'm going, in my head, I think if you get beyond 4 or 5, you're basically writing the season off then, because it takes so long, because you not all those players hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And I've been through summers with Liverpool where they sign 6, 7, 8 players, and you sat there going, yeah, but it takes till January for us to even get anywhere. I'm like, it's Kev, what a tight ass.
Well, Kev is saying that, right? But last night Kev ended up with, I think it might have been broke even on wages, and he 48 million. So there's not much difference in the transfers. Chris is probably a bit low in his things, but both of you, I think, are absolutely fine with regards to wages. There'll be no issue there. Sam says 8 out of 10, very realistic, but 8 out of 10 is as high LFC can go this summer. 10 out of 10 is Mbappe levels.
Which is fair.
We'll see tomorrow. I know Matt is doing it tomorrow. I'm doing it Friday. Shawnee's doing it Sunday. and then I'll get another couple of bodies on to do it. Now, if news breaks
Yeah,
in the meantime, we'd be obviously going away from this to do other
yeah.
stuff. But that's where we stand on Chris's summer spend. The post strings from Chris Brack. That's where he stands. That is the squad as I've read it out. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks for being members, first of all. If you're listening on the download and you kind of want to go, I'd love to bleed and comment on that as it was going, become a member. $3.99 a month. Loads and loads of shows coming over the summer, including some watch-alongs for the Euros where there'll be definitely cans involved. It won't be kind of sitting in a room kind of going, this, and if there's watch-alongs going on, it's going to be compulsory that there's cans and probably smoking involved. And that's, well, if I have to do it, the cans and smoking will be mandatory. As I said, thanks for being members. Thanks for watching. And then we'll be back tomorrow night. Anything else before we go, Chris?
No, I don't think so. No, all good. Just I'm actually just looking forward to now seeing what he's going to do. It's nice. I know people are a bit worried, but I actually quite like this unknown because we've had so much stability with Klopp for the last couple of years. It's quite nice sometimes having a new manager and going, I wonder what he's going to do different. Just something a bit different. It's intriguing me. I'm also loving all the IT. I love all the ITKs who are actually bringing up last year's transfers, going, "Oh man, it's great."
I have a couple of theories and things, but I'm keeping it until Friday night, and I'll go through my list as to who I would bring in and let go. I think I'll surprise a few. what I've done. It won't be a case of keep them all; they're all amazing. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I said, Matt tomorrow, me Friday, Shawnee Sunday. We'll take Saturday off. Why not? That has been the Talkin Kop for Wednesday night for our members. Yeah, it's been good. Chris has done well. The net spend will suit Michael Edwards and the boys because they love getting value. The wages will definitely suit. But maybe it doesn't suit the people watching, the players you brought in, the amount of them in certain positions. Nah, but that's what it's about. Leave your comments underneath whatever happens after this. Leave them there, and we'll see where we go from there. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.